one day want to be able to document our journey back home and to be able to retrace our escape route. But, of course, that takes funding and all that stuff. So trying to work on that. And I think that would be one of my biggest legacy that I can leave with my children and grandchildren. So.
How was your experience as a school child? You said you came over when you were 3, is that right? Or
yeah, well, I actually spent my entire education here in the U.S. and
so did you?
Of course, they put me in ESL. Back then, it was ESL, English as a Second Language, but now it's ELL, English Language Learners, because they figured that English is probably not just their second language, right? So I was in ESL for kindergarten, and then I remember clearly going into first grade. My dad, the teacher told my dad that they were mainstreaming me into a regular class,
right.
And he was so scared because he didn't want me to inherit his accent. He wanted me to be American, right, and speak American, and so they refused to speak to us in English at home because they didn't want us to. They didn't want to hand down their accent to us. So they spoke to us in our native languages here at home. So I am fluent in 3 languages of Laos and then English. So we learn English from our white teachers. And so that's why I speak like this. But if you would ever, when you speak to my parents, they speak with a really thick accent. And people always assume that because I don't have an accent that I was born here. But actually, it was because I learned English from my fellow white teachers that didn't have an accent. So, yeah.
Cool. Do you ladies have any other questions that you might like to ask?
Do you have anyone else that you think that we should talk to?
If I'm able to, I can definitely link you guys up with a student that we have at one of our schools. Like I said, we have over 300 students from across the world. And what's pretty powerful about our school is that the majority of our instructional assistants and community-based organizations are pretty reflective of the students we serve. So it's pretty powerful when a Laotian or Thai student walks into my office and I'm able to speak to them in their own native languages. They see me eating the same traditional foods as they are. I think it's more shocking to them because they're like, wait, you've been here so long. Why are you still eating, Asian food? Or how do you still know our language? And it's because, we keep it going because it is important. And I think that's one thing that the American culture truly forgets is that we all very different, and that's why they, have moved from the melting pot to sort of like a salad, right? Because you can still identify all those healthy pieces. You can see the tomatoes and the olives and the cucumber, but we come together to build this delicious, healthy dish versus a melting pot where everyone is just thrown in there and you can't even, identify which culture is which. So I think that's huge. And for us to be able to give that message to the students that, hey, even though you're now here in America, that doesn't mean that you have to lose your identity or your culture.
That's a powerful message, a very powerful message.
Yeah. Okay. And girls, can I ask you guys a question?
Sure. Yeah.
How did you guys